Now let's add a report to this application. We're going to begin by clicking on the tabs object. You can see that we have the tabs selected and it says tabs up here. And we're going to add a new tab and we're going to call it the customer orders report. So now we're on our new tab. We are going to create a report. So we're going to begin by clicking on the customers table and then dragging off a report icon. So now we have a basic list of our customers. However, what we want to see is the orders that relate to those customers. So we can put this all in the same report. We can click on the orders table and then drag a report icon off and drop it on top of it. Now, it's important to note that that would not have worked if the orders table did not have a customer ID column linking it to the customers table. If we click on this report and click Join Tables, you will see that the orders are connected to the customers by the customer ID. If you would have done that exact same thing, but the database was not set up correctly, the report would not work, and when you went to go run it, you would get errors. So we're going to take the order status column and we're going to move it to the left. And we can resize columns. Probably want the order date moved over. And maybe the order ID. If there are columns we don't need in this report or we don't want to see, we can click on them and say hide column. If we change our mind, we can click unhide column and the column will reappear. Let's hide a few columns here. We don't need the customer ID column here. And maybe we don't need the ship date. We'll leave it for now. Okay, let's run this report to see where we are now. So we have some customers with some orders, and they're sorted by order status. We could search these manually if we had hundreds or thousands of these orders. We could filter them manually by coming up here, opening up the filter panel and saying, for example, let's find just the orders where the customer name begins with Ron. And we would see those orders. However, if we're doing this frequently, we probably want to save some of these to make it easier on our user. So let's close this tab and let's come back in here and let's do some saved filters. So we select the report object by clicking on it. You can see it says the customer's report. Then we click filters. The master filter is just the default filter that brings back all of the records. You can find out more information about advanced filtering features over on the help screen. We want to create a new filter. And let's say that we want to show the orders that have not shipped yet. So these will have a blank ship date. So let's call this not yet shipped. And then we want to only pull up those records where the order ship date is blank. So our save filter is called not yet shipped and our order ship date is blank. Now we've just created that save filter. If we go ahead and we try this out, and the user comes down to here and brings up the filter panel. Underneath his options, he will see not yet shipped, and he can click find and just see those. However, that's probably still not easy enough. So let's close this tab and let's put a button up here, and we're going to call this button not yet shipped. And we can connect this button to the report. And then we will notice that underneath Apply Filter, that filter that we created called Not Yet Shipped is now showing there. So we can connect the button to that filter. So when you click the button, it's going to apply that filter. Let's say we wanted to add another one to show all of the records and put a button on that. We click on the report object, click Filters, add a new filter. We'll call this one All Records. And because this is blank, it'll bring back all of the records. So we go ahead and save that. And then we're going to put a button up here. Let's call this button All Records. And then we're going to connect it to the report. And you'll see that that filter that we just created called All Records now shows there. So we're going to select that. So now when we run this report application, we'll see that if we click Not Yet Shipped, we see those records, and when we click All Records, we see those. So that's not a bad beginning. Let's take it one step further and add a custom search box so the user can do a quick search. They still have the full power of being able to come in here and filter the records however they want. However, in addition to All Records and Not Yet Shipped, maybe we want to do something else. Let's say we want to add a search box where they can type in a little bit of text and it will search for a matching name. So to do this, there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to add a virtual field to hold the search information. So let's create a virtual field that's a character field, so the user can type anything into it. And we're going to give this a name so that we can refer to it easily in a formula. And we're going to call this search box or quick search. So we have a field there that's a virtual field, doesn't exist in any database, called quick search. And then we are going to put a button next to it. We'll come back and hook this up later. And this button will say Find. And buttons don't all need to be the same colors. You can make this button any color you want. So we're going to come back here and we're going to create a quick search filter. So we come back to the report. We add a new filter. We'll call this filter the same thing, quick search. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a formula to this filter to refer back to that virtual field. So the customer name, if it begins with, or you could even say contains, and then we can, instead of typing in an actual value, we can type in a field reference. So we can say at value virtual dot So let's look at this. So this refers to the value of the quick search field. So let's come back here and take a look at this. So if we click on this, we can see that we've got a virtual character field, and it's called virtual.quicksearch. And when we are over here in the filter for quick search, we can see that where the customer's name contains the value of virtual quick search. So that's how we set up a search box. The only thing left to do is connect this Find button to that search filter. So we are going to connect it to the report and apply the quick search filter. So let's see how this works when we run the application. So we have all of these names here, and when we click in this, we'll see that we can't click in here. This is because virtual fields by default are read-only. So let's close this tab. Let's click on this virtual field. Let's come up here underneath the formula tab is where it says read-only or not read-only. We're going to turn read-only off. Now, when we go to run the application, we'll be able to type into this box. So let's say we just wanted Ron. We could show all records. Let's say we wanted to even search by the last name. We could just type in here Black, find. So you can add as many filters in different ways as you want. Let's say you wanted to make that quick search box work not only on name, but also on order status. You could come down here, edit the filter for the quick search, and you could say where the name contains that value. Now this says match all of the following. We're going to change this to any of the following. Or where the order status contains, we'll just copy and paste this. So what we've done here is now when the person types in the search box field, it will bring back those records that match any of the following. Customer name contains what they typed in, or the order status contains what they typed in. So now let's go ahead and run this and we'll see what we can do. So not only can we type in, say, Ron or John, but we could also type in something like new, and it would pull up the new order. Or we could type in just confirmed. And it would pull up the confirmed orders. You could set this up to work however you would like.